My name is Courtney, and you're listening to The STEM Spark, where curiosity sparks creativity. Welcome to the very first episode. Let me start with a bold statement. I believe everyone is a genius. Now that may sound like a stretch, but once we dive into this content, I think you'll agree. Everyone is wired differently. We all have unique talents, strengths, and ways of thinking. And I truly believe each of us is brilliant at something. As I said, I'm Courtney, and I'm a teacher through and through. I have been a teacher for, most of my life. I've spent over 13 years in education, mostly in elementary school, with a few years teaching adults, who, by the way, can be just as challenging as the littles. The past several years, I've been immersed in the world of STEM education, and I absolutely love it. I find such joy in helping others learn, helping others discover how smart they are, and how they're wired. Seeing those light bulb moments that we all have at some point with certain things, that's what lights me up too. My journey into STEM started after I took a break from teaching. A friend told me about a program called Starbase, and that is where my true STEM journey began. The job opened up the world of STEM. So for those of you who aren't as familiar, STEM is an acronym, and it stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. Sometimes it's also called STEAM, where the A stands for art. And honestly, I don't think you can really have STEM without including the art component, but for now, we're just going to stick with the STEM. These days, I teach both elementary and middle school STEM, and it's honestly amazing. It's so fun to see what kids can do when they're given tools to explore and create, and the space and the time to just be creative. I feel like that's almost a lost art these days. So, why did I start the podcast? Oh, I've had this idea for a long time. Friends kept telling me, you should start a podcast or you should do a YouTube channel. And while the idea excited me, it also felt overwhelming. For real. But here we are. I created the STEM Spark to share what I've learned, to spread my love of STEM, and to support teachers, parents, and students. Really, anyone curious about how to bring more STEM learning into their lives. So, when I started teaching STEM full-time, I had a hard time finding resources that connected everything together: science, technology, engineering, math, art, in an integrated way. I hope this show fills some of that gap. So we're going to pause for a second, and I'm going to share one of my favorite classroom moments. I was teaching 4th grade in Arizona, and I worked really hard to create a classroom culture where it was okay to get the answers wrong. Mistakes are just a part of learning. And we had a space where kids didn't pick on each other for not knowing. We can all embrace that idea that we're all smart at something, even if it's not all the same thing. So one day we were in the middle of a math lesson, and I asked this specific student for the answer. And y'all, he had no clue, not even a guess. And so he looks at me very seriously and he says, "Pie." And he didn't mean pie as in the number pi. He meant pie like the dessert. And so we all cracked up. We thought it was funny. We had a little pause of laughter. And it was such a great reminder that learning can be joyful. It can be relaxed. And little silly moments sometimes are exactly what we need. So, who is this podcast for? This podcast is for teachers looking for some classroom ideas and strategies. It's for homeschool families wanting to bring STEM into their regular school routine. It's for parents and caregivers, babysitters, who want to have fun, engaging projects to do with the kids that they're caring for or at home. And honestly, curious minds of all ages who just love to learn. If you work with or care about kids and you're interested in helping them explore the world of STEM, you're in the right place. What you're going to get from this podcast is that you'll walk away from each episode with a renewed sense of wonder and curiosity, practical tools, tips, and projects that you can implement with just a little tweak for what you need it for. An appreciation for how STEM shows up in everyday life. It's everywhere. And then my personal favorite, low prep, low cost ways to explore the world of STEM. Some episodes will be more informative, some will be playful and creative, and many will include projects that you can try right away. So let me break down the recurring series that we're going to do here on the podcast. STEM at Home is one of our series where we will talk about hands-on projects using easy, accessible materials. So these are going to be things you have around your home, in your classrooms, or are easily able to get at the dollar store or like your local big box store. What if episodes? So I love seeing kids really get creative and think outside the box. So I pose what if questions to my students on a regular basis. So thoughtful experiments that you could even make into hands-on projects with questions such as, what if we lived on Mars? Or what if animals could talk? Or maybe, what if numbers didn't exist? Really getting kids and students thinking about, how would our world shift if something like this changed? All right, the next series is Real World STEM. So we're going to connect everyday things like roller coasters to science, engineering, art, math, etc. STEM Career Chats is another series where we're going to interview people who have jobs in STEM fields. So we're going to just chat with them, ask them questions, and see what they think about STEM and how it applies to their job. Classroom Chronicles. This series is really going to be geared for people who work with kids. It's going to have teacher tips, stories, and ideas for educators. STEM toy reviews. No, I don't love the word toy, but that's how they're marketed, and so we're going to stick with it for now, but in my classroom I call them tools. We are going to review STEM-related products, and I'm just going to give you my honest educator opinion about the value, the quality, and how you could use it in STEM things. And then last but certainly not least, one of my favorites is the STEM book talks. I highly believe in the value of reading aloud to anybody and everybody. I listen to audiobooks regularly, and so I think it's really important to still read aloud or have that in your life. But I do read aloud, especially to my elementary kids. And we do projects based on the book. And so we're going to do some read aloud episodes where I will give you a video of a read aloud, and then I will talk to you about the projects and experiments and different things that I do related to STEM and to the content of the book. So that is the breakdown of the different series that you can expect. When to expect the episode. Okay, so new episodes will drop once a week. The episode itself will tend to be around 20 to 30 minutes long, and I haven't decided on a consistent release date, but I will settle on that soon. Like, for example, maybe every Wednesday the episode will post, and then that way you can build it into your regular routine. Whether it's your commute, your prep time, or a quiet moment at home, we'll have it ready. All right, thank you. If you've made it this far, I do appreciate you listening. I hope you'll subscribe to the STEM Spark so you get episodes as soon as they're released. Share it with a friend, a fellow educator, or parent. Stick around as we explore the wild, wonderful world of STEM together. This is Courtney, and you've been listening to the STEM Spark, where curiosity sparks creativity. Bye.